What up?
Doing
Chilling. How y'all doing?
cool in it.
What's up, Mo?
Oh man, ripped out my mind.
Oh, damn. Going to school high.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's the only way.
I can't do shit when I'm stoned, man. I'm useless.
Yeah, it's a I don't
It's a
know.
conundrum, isn't it?
Yes. Because for me, like it helps me focus, but then sometimes it just gets in the way.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would have graduated high school if I wasn't stoned all the time, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I agree with that. I can totally relate.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of Mycos, man. And I know who everybody is individually, especially like on Instagram with the profile pics. But when we're in here, I'm like, okay,
I'm
I
like,
usually don't have my I usually don't have my video on. This is Michael Pants.
yeah, I know who Mr. Pants is.
Michael Rise 305.
Yeah, and I follow your personal account too, right?
Yeah. I've been
You and
following
your
you.
girl are on there.
No, that's me. That's Pants.
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do.
Cool.
Oh, before I ever made this account, I was following you for quite a while on my personal account.
Nice. What's your personal account?
It's a fitness account, J Fitness 30 or something like that. I don't use it that
Okay,
much.
okay. Yeah, definitely. I think that we've talked before through that account, right? Maybe.
Yeah, probably when I first reached out to you, I don't think I had made this account yet.
Gotcha.
I was still kind of skeptical on sharing photos of this and all that. I didn't know,
Yeah,
kosher, or I didn't know how people were doing it, if people were using VPNs or whatnot, or what.
yeah, yeah.
hurt.
I was super skeptical to do it for a long time. It's kind of scary, but
Yeah,
it's like if you just take a step back and look at all the numbers and you look at, people who are basically famous, we're like, down to like, um, not like famous and like a celebrity, but I guess you could be like a G-list celebrity. Some of the people in the Michael world, like Boss and BAS, right? Basidium Equilibrium. He's got a huge following. Manna
yeah,
from Heaven, different people. They've had huge accounts for a long time. Never any trouble. And I think a lot of that is because there's no trouble involved with it.
yeah,
It's there's not corrupt money laundering, gang stuff going on. It's like it would be hard for it to make sense for the federal government at least to do anything, to
yeah,
go after somebody because it would be a loss for them as far as money goes, which to be realistic, they don't even have money anymore.
yeah,
Um, I think that they could use it for something else if you were involved in other shit, like they still do for weed because it's illegal federally, right? But if they want to get in the door to get you for other shit, they'll use it as an excuse. The feds will go and say, "Oh, we have a warrant you're growing weed in Denver or California," and they'll bust a big operation. But then they find guns, they're counterfeiting money. There's always something else with it.
yeah,
But
Either that or a stupid neighbor,
yeah,
like that guy in or is it with New Hampshire?
yeah. So and the thing is, so that was a local municipality that got him. You got to be
I
careful
know.
locally. Who
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm
know,
saying.
like they could call the feds, and the feds would say, "I don't fucking care."
No,
Um,
that guy was stupid too. The
yeah, that
fucking
guy was a
cops come
fucking
by.
idiot.
They gave him a heads up. They
Really?
gave him a fucking warning, and he didn't move shit out.
Yeah. Well, he had a little operation going. That wasn't even that. Just kidding. No, it was a good operation. It just, there's karma that surrounds the whole process. I feel like, um, and it's momentum's moving in our direction. It would be really stupid for them to try and target us right now, just because of what the cases that have recently gone on in the Supreme Courts as well. Like they haven't ruled in the favor of the people doing it, but they've told the DEA, like, how can you say there's no medicinal property? Like the federal judge told the DEA, the judge was like, you need to figure this out. And so then right after that, the DEA recently, I think, released like $80,000 in grants on studies, and they're getting it zoned and sanctioned. They're in the process, so
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to jump on. If you're gonna jump on, you better do it now and be willing to take that little risk. But
Yeah.
yeah, how's everybody's week been?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Just watching plates grow.
Watching plates grow. Fuck, dude. That's my life. I feel you. It's the coolest thing in the world, man, next to a couple other things. But as far as like hobbies go, man, there's not a better one to turn into a lifestyle even,
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you guys been growing?
I've been growing
I
now
just,
for a little over a year.
Nice.
yeah,
Moldavite,
I've been going since like June.
June?
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah, you guys are fucking lucky, man. And Moldavite's new. Like, you guys were fucking around with gourmets a little bit, right? You and your girl?
No. We were trying to do some African blue meanies and African transeke, and with Uncle Ben for some reason, and some other grains, but they were pretty bad, really bad. Yeah, failed.
Yeah, you guys are lucky. There's so much information and just this crazy flow of info nowadays that it's like noobs can come on and just like kill it their first time. And I've seen it a few times, Back in the day, it was not like that. No one was given secrets. It's like almost like people were afraid that you were gonna like step on their toes, which wasn't the case, obviously.
Shit.
But it was hard, man. Like even like 5 years ago, finding any good information, there was nothing like this going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as like getting genetics, there was no liquid cultures going around the way they are. You had to get spores from a website like mushrooms.com. And this is like 4 or 5 years ago, even. That's kind of when it started. Like people started getting more comfortable sharing genetics, and discussing things a little bit differently. But the shroomery everybody was always so paranoid. What's up, Rob? Where's Robert? Oh, what's up? What's up, RC?
What's up?
Got Melissa in the house. What's up, Liz? What's up, Rob?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. Just living the dream.
Indeed.
Probably have more people jump on.
So, Tony, how long do you think I should let my plates sit before I check on them? Because I'm gonna have to parafilm them after the fact, so they're just sitting in the still air box.
I thought that you wrapped them with some plastic wrap.
I did, but it was not a good job because I didn't have a pipe cutter to cut the plastic, so I just wrapped them and just left them and forgot about them really because I don't want to. I just want them to be safe.
They're good in there like that for a while. It takes a couple of weeks before they start to dry out, as long as you don't have like air blowing on them.
Oh, there's no air, and there's pretty
Yeah.
sealed. It's just not as clean as I wanted.
Just like the clear tape, dude, the clear plastic tape, the little Scotch tape.
I
It's
was
on the
out of
roll
that.
and
The only thing I had was this shit, transpose and shit. This porous micropose.
Can't you use sandwich bags? Ziplocs?
I have those, but I have the transpose now. I just it just came today.
Okay, yeah. If all else fails, if you don't have any grafting tape or what's it called? The one stuff, parafilm. The
Mhm.
little Scotch tapes, you know, they come in like the C shape. They're on like every desk. Those work great, honestly.
Yeah, I was clear out of that. All they had was masking tape and postage tape.
Yeah, and masking tape will work too, as long as it's not micropore tape. People fuck up and use micropore tape. That dries them.
Yeah,
I swear, that
I'm
dries
glad
them
I didn't do
faster
that.
than if you were to not have any tape for some reason.
I'm glad I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So just putting regular tape on it won't kill it.
I doubt it. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that, but I had one before I ever heard of like micropore and all that.
Yeah.
And parafilm. I just put tape on a couple plates when I was like first starting, and they ended up just going bad. Now, mind you, I didn't have a good sterile technique then, and I didn't have a flow hood then, and all that. But I did it inside of a tub, like I made basically a little air box, and I felt like it was relatively clean. It didn't have like mold, but it kind of started to grow and then just never grew. It kind of like stalled.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that there's certain chemicals and certain things that might fuck shit up, but I've used Scotch tape before with no problems. I would probably run that experiment back again just to see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
Could be a number of things, but yeah.
I'm gonna get some reusable plastic petri dishes. Mendo Myco is
So,
selling them.
polypropylene.
Yeah.
Remind me to send you a link on Amazon. There's these I think I sent them to Melissa one time, but they're like just these little plastic dishes that they use for like people who make jewelry, right? That's what they're listed as, but they're you get like 15 of them for $15 and they're perfect. Like they're perfect for agar and reusable plate.
Here they are, Tony.
Here, let's see. I'm on full screen so that
So here
Cool.
they're the ones that you referred me to get.
John got them.
So they're awesome.
Yeah.
Do those screw on?
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Nice.
They're probably not quite as clear as a micropose plate or something, but they look nice. I've never used one. I thought about getting some, and I'm just like, you know what? There's no point. I have my big masters. I have 120 millimeter plates. They're like, big. Then for each of my cultures, I'll make a master, and then I'll make a centrifuge. I have big centrifuges that I can put like a whole big piece of agar in there so that I always have that to transfer out. And, my genetics are backed up well enough, and I don't have fucking room.
I need to start working on mine. That's basically why I bought these, was to save some.
Yeah. If I wasn't moving plates like crazy, I would definitely go that route and get those things. But I mean, I could, if I have to. These aren't autoclavable. These are just regular. These are whatever the plastic is. They're not the PP5, that's for sure. But I know how to reuse these like nothing easily. I could reuse one of these 50 times. I could show you guys how.
Is all you do is clean them with bleach?
So
I use peroxide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even use soap. I'll just smack that old puck out, right? Put them under hot water with my hand, rinse it, fling that water out, take your H2O2, spray the lid, spray the plate, put the lid on it, let it sit for 5 minutes in front of the hood, pour your agar in it with the hydrogen peroxide. They're clean every time.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. I've never told anybody that, at least that I remember, at least like told people as a group, because there's Nazis in the community who will probably like, I've always been like afraid of that conversation. I don't want to argue with anybody. There's always somebody who wants to like tell you that you're doing something wrong,
Like you can't use ketchup cups.
Yeah. Dude,
I love my ketchup cups, man.
back in the day, dude.
That's
No.
all I use.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
same.
ketchup
That's all
cup
I've been using.
They're the
strictly
shit.
until this year. Like once I started bending, then I started doing plates. I'd never even bought a 90 millimeter plate till this year.
Yeah. It's not necessary, but it's nice. It's nice to look at
It's if you're
when you do
selling them for
plate.
$25 a piece, you know,
Hmm.
people like it. You know, they like to have the cool little shapes or whatever, you know, that you can do. And I like it now. I don't think I'd go back just because I've become obsessed with agar and recipes and stuff, you know. Since I started making plates for aesthetics, it's kind of like, you know, it's pretty addictive, but I mean, dude, I used to just throw whatever together in my ketchup cups. Like if I didn't have anything, dude, I'd chew up some grain, you know what I mean? Spit it in the jar. Fuck, dude, I've done that. I'll be honest. Works great.
Hmm.
Like, how am I going to crush this shit up?
Whatever
Yeah,
works.
yeah, it does. Brown rice flour works. Anything, dude. You could use table sugar. But anyways, how's everybody's plates doing?
Looking good. Still no pins, but looking good.
No pins?
No
I pulled
pins.
3 pins off of the swab plate.
You got a pin going off?
I picked 3 pins off of the swab plate.
Damn, you're already ahead of us, dude. You're about ready to make LC.
My saw plate looks really slow. It's got like 2 ropes.
Let's see.
Let me go down there and get it. I'm upstairs. Hold on. Hold up. I'm gonna put myself on mute while I go down there. Shit.
Pins on.
Um, and I'm like way behind the 8 ball. So you know, I got pins on the sample you mailed to me.
Well, that
That's
works.
good though. That's what you want.
The sample you mailed to me, the original one. I got a bunch of little ones, man. A bunch of little ones.
They'll be transferable soon.
So
Maybe
yeah,
next.
so
So I
This is
transfer hyphal knots if I have to.
Yeah, I've done that too.
Which reminds me, John, that Shakti Brainy Panther cream that I sent you, that doesn't even do anything, huh? It was like super difficult.
That you sent me?
Yeah,
Yeah. It didn't do anything.
yeah, and that was I took one of I transferred a hyphal knot onto the plate that I sent you because it's just like barely starting to form them. It took months, but
Yeah.
Here's the plate
It
with
actually
the.
turned like orange
yeah,
in the cups where I left it in, and I was like, yeah, that's not.
Yeah, that's not good. Not good. I had one do that too. I had a Shocky plate turn like peach orange color. Hell, my tidal
Hey
wave.
Tony, here's a swab.
Oh yeah, let's see that.
yeah. Let me zoom in on you.
I'm holding it under light, so it'll.
Oh yeah, you got pinnage, brother.
Yeah. Oh,
You,
I do.
what's that?
I don't see any pins, but I see.
See those little
I
black
forgot what
dots?
those. Which? Yeah,
Those are
the
pinnage.
white spots right there.
Yep, all throughout it. You
Okay.
got them close to the Q-tip too.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. There's some on the swab.
Cool. Yeah, you could take some tweezers and transfer that to a new plate, and then that's your clone. Try to get as little bit of mycelium because sometimes when you go to transfer a pin that small, it'll bring a little bit of mic with it, which is fine. It's probably all still the same culture, but there's a
Cool.
chance that you're grabbing some other genetics in there with it, so it kind of defeats the purpose, right, of cloning.
All right.
But make
That's good to
sure
know.
when you transfer your mycelium from that it's from the pin and not whatever you drug behind with it.
Just. All right. No agar.
Here, we'll talk on Instagram about it. I'll show you what's up. It's kind of hard to do a one-on-one with everybody, but to see yours, Rob.
what?
Let's see it.
I don't know if you could Well, the only thing I got pins on is this guy here. It's got a whole bunch of little fellas. Well, let me see. Where's the camera at?
Can't find you, Ron. Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I'm trying to zoom in on you. It's not letting me for some reason. Full screen. All right, let's see. All right, let's check you out, bro. Yeah, you got lots of pinners too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah, yeah. Good rule of thumb for me. Even if I'm cloning from a tub, unless I'm hunting for a specific pheno, I don't do it like this. But
I was one of those absurd. She could have to form herself into a committee for the purpose of watching the movies for the previous soldiers and gaining every intelligence.
that sounds
I
great.
think that's Jason's TV.
My bad.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I was like, who the fuck is
I
this?
had the door open. I had the door
Freddy
open.
Krueger in
for
some way. The first one that usually pops, and this is how I used to do my multispores. I grow them out, and the first mushroom that pops is usually the fastest, the biggest, and the most potent. It's just the way it is, you know. So that's probably how it is on a plate too. If you notice on plates that pop pins, it can have a few of them growing at the same time. Most of them eventually die off, and then all the energy goes to one or two. And it's usually that first one that pops. So
So that's the only one that I have. I have a whole lot of them on this one, but my other plates, they're loaded mycelium, but no no pins.
yeah, I'm really surprised that I don't have any pins either.
Yeah.
Because
Fucking
I mean, next week
weird.
there's going to be pins. There's no more nutrients left in these plates after this week, and that's basically what your mic is doing. Is it's eating everything that it possibly can before it fruits to reproduce. Fruiting's a survival mechanism, because it needs to move on. But yeah, I've got nothing.
I have a quick question.
Yeah,
So in terms of like the plates that we have here, I only have like 3 plates. I already took 2 transfers from the same plate, and then 2 more popped up again. And then
off of your new fruits that you transferred.
yeah, literally, I transferred 2 fruits, and then now 2 more fruits came back. And then the swap plate had like at least 5 different new pins.
Yeah,
And
so
they-
your original pin that you transferred,
Yeah.
how does that plate look?
It's slow as hell, but the second one that my girl did, it's like the mesomorphic growth is growing pretty fast on it. Like it's actually doing some. This one stuck. It's like
I can't move it more to the center so I can see. Can't see it, brother. Move it
Up
more.
there in the corner at the top.
Yeah, you need to hold it more up. Now go to your right. Oh yeah, I see it. I see it. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
and this one, the second one is moving faster.
Yeah. So that's where you're gonna make your liquid culture from.
Okay.
I can almost bet that before that even colonizes the plate, it has more pins shooting off of that pin. And that's ideally what you want. You want your plates to go crazy,
Mine looks good. It's just starting to form little bitty knots, but not much.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a real juvenile question.
Huh.
Elementary. So how do you transfer if you get a swab and it's the spores on it? How do you get it onto the growing onto the agar fish? Like, do you have to like dip it in liquid and then put it on there, or do you just stick it in there, or do you make an S with it?
I'll show you what I
I
do.
don't know.
Bro.
I don't know the right. I know. I heard. You make an S one direction, spin it 90 degrees, and make another S, and that ought to do it. But I'd like to
Yeah.
know your
Hang
way.
on 1 sec. I'm gonna grab you a plate that I just barely did. I don't know why. 1 second, brother. I'm just figuring this out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
yeah, I fixed it. Cool. Man, it's freaking thing.
hey, Tony.
Yeah, hang on 1 sec. I'm gonna be right. Let me grab this for you. The show.
Bum, 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 bum. How's everybody doing, man?
Excelente. All right. So if you see, my swab is underneath the plate. This is just how I do it.
How do we do full screen? There we go.
You know, I've never really used swabs until recently. I would always just, if I needed to work with spores, I would use a print, and then scrape just a little bit of spores onto a plate. But I kind of, so as you see, I pushed it down and I'll spin it as I'm pushing it underneath, and then bring it on top, do the same thing, and then eventually push the bottom of the Q-tip underneath the agar. And that way, it's kind of like works like like the water agar, right? It's super. There's a lot of moisture under there. There's no way that those spores aren't getting enough moisture and enough food to germinate and grow. That's how I see it. I've never had an issue doing it like that.
Cool, good enough. All
Yeah.
right. How long does it take? How long does it normally take for some growth to happen? Like 3 to 7 days, or
Depends on how fresh your spores are and the strain. If they're fresh spores, like within a week old, they'll grow within 24 hours, usually for me.
and you keep it around 70 degrees.
Room temperature for me, everything, the whole entire process. I always tell people, if you're comfortable, they're comfortable. They don't think too hard about numbers. Mushrooms, it's a living organism. It's not so simple. It's just like, human beings. What could we constantly survive in 100+ degrees without ever getting a break? Probably not. We'd probably die eventually. Probably give it a good week at 100, plus degrees. You're gonna probably dehydrate,
So,
right?
like 75, like 75.
70, 72, I think, is the perfect temperature. At least for me, I don't need a blanket at 72 degrees, and I don't sweat at 72 degrees. My body pretty much maintains that perfect 98.6 degree homeostasis at 72 degrees.
I run everything at 73.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
Hey,
the same. It's the same thing.
in the winter,
Um,
73. In the summer, 70.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's good.
I try to keep it. I try to keep it at 70 to 74. But my space heater, it's like it's wacky. It's wacky. So, but
When I
so I
grow in
put
pans,
sensors.
everything in the room is fucking hot. The cubes are growing hot. Everything's growing hot because you got to keep the pans. I keep my pans at 85.
Your pans.
Yeah, pan cyans. Exotic.
Okay.
They're a
Okay.
different cult. It's a different species. They're
All right. So, but my space heater. Sometimes, man, my room got up to past 80. And so I wound up getting some sensors and putting sensors in the room. So if it gets past 84 degrees, it tells me on my phone, 84 degrees, or if it gets too cold, it lets me know. So, so I can go, so that it won't get killed. I put sensors in my 2 grow rooms and in my shroom room. So yeah, so I got everything covered. I got to worry about things getting too hot, too cold, or too humid, not humid enough, and not. So
You got climate control.
yeah,
in
no,
there.
they were on Amazon. They're pretty cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the brand that you're using?
Yeah, they work great too, man. They're awesome. They have all sorts of settings. You know, you could put in your settings you want and different alarms and yeah, man, things fit. It's dynamite for the money, man. They're great. I just hang them. I got one hanging from my ceiling fan right here. Just one sensor right. Well, you can see it right here. You know, it gives me humidity. Tells me the whole week of when it went up, when it went down, and yeah, they're pretty good. Let's see what they were.
Yeah, yeah. I use those for
Oh.
weed in my tent. But Melissa had a question. I don't want Melissa to think I forgot about her. You there, Liz?
Oh, hey.
Hi.
I actually have I actually have a couple things.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I'm gonna
I
zoom
am
in on
still.
you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just zooming in on you so that I can see what you're talking about. I like your elephant.
Yeah. Okay. I'm still confused on the mono carry-on and the dio carry-on. I have only made 2 transfers. So I'm wondering how I go about the next plate. I know I asked the other day, but I just and I had a couple answers, but I just want to make sure that I have more of an understanding, so I'm not just transferring shit just to transfer stuff, you know?
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna go like this. I'm gonna zoom in on myself so that I can
Okay.
make sure I could show everybody. Okay. And maybe I need to make a video. I probably do. That's just more complete on the basics of going from spore to an eyesore, which is a monoculture that also equates to, with the verbiage that we're using and terminology we're using, one dikaryon. So one dikaryotic culture means one set of genetics. If you have a dikaryon and it's a good dikaryon, every time you grow it, as long as you're doing it in the exact same conditions, you can basically expect fairly similar results every time. And that's the whole purpose of cloning and doing agar work and isolating, is so that you know that if you're going to run your favorite culture, you're going to get those results every time. You're not going to get uneven pin sets like you would a multi-spore. You're not going to get all your weight off of several flushes. You want, in my mind, people ask me how many flushes I get out of a culture. I don't think a culture's even ready to put to grain if you think that it's worth it to run more than 2 flushes. Really, I mean, I like my cultures to pretty much pull out as much nutrients as possible at 2 to 3 flushes. So just trying to keep it around for longer than that, it's kind of detrimental because it's now the immune system of the block's weak, and the pH is drops and it's susceptible to contamination. You don't want that in your grow room. Now, there's a lot. That's one of the reasons why you want a solid culture, right? You know that it's going to be potent. With multi-spores, you can grow a flush and only one of those mushrooms will be potent. And it's almost like it took all the alkaloids from the block, and 1 gram, fucking your little brother's high for a week, right? And everybody and all the other mushrooms, they did nothing. So you want pretty much a consistent potency. You want it to grow even, and you want it to fruit fast. So that's why we isolate. So here's my swab. See that list?
Yes.
Now, it had grown out to about here, and I took 2 transfers here and and a transfer there. And I
Okay.
put that to my T1. Okay, you can't really see that very well. I put 2 right here in the middle, and I let them grow out.
Okay.
Now, on my first transfer, I couldn't really see a lot going on. So as it was growing, it was probably about, the size of a silver dollar. And I took transfers from the outer edge. Now, the reason why we take transfers from the outer edge is because as we're isolating and the gene pool is getting smaller. So, and the reason why it's getting smaller is, say you have 1,000 spores on a swab, you now have 500 dicaryons. Each one of those dicaryons is different, but they're all fighting for survival. Only the strongest is going to survive. The strongest is going to be the one that fruits first. The one that fruits first is probably the one that grows the fastest. So as we continue to cut and take from that outer edge, you're ensuring that you're getting the fastest genetics from that plate. And at the same time, you're cutting that gene pool in half, let's say by 50% every time you take a transfer. Does that make sense? So now you're after T1, let's say I had 500 different dicaryons, right? Where 2 spores grew and met and mated. Now they're stuck together. That's a dikaryon. That's a monoculture. Not to be confused with a monokaryon. That is one spore growing, searching for another spore to mate to create a dikaryon, to create a monoculture.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So then now I have 250 genetics, right, on my first transfer.
Okay.
And I took cuts from all over and I put them on my T2. So I took from the outer edge, the fastest growth, where I could see it sectoring and kind of colliding with other ropes, right? Where they didn't look uniform. I took pieces that look uniform compared to the rest and also growing faster than the rest.
Okay.
Now I took 4 cuts from my second transfer. This cut and this cut, as you can see, maybe you can't see, right here and right here. Can you see that?
It's a little
Yes.
blurry.
Let's see if
I
I
can.
can't get it. Anyways, they grew together. And that showed me that they were sharing the same culture. So by T2, by my second transfer, I had already had 3 different cultures that I could see, because this one, as you can see, the ropes are kind of colliding with each other compared to these first 2 that grew together.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me this is one culture, these 2. This transferred piece is another culture. So now I have 2 cultures. And then there was another transfer up here. And I'll take some photos and upload them to the Mighty Network so that you guys can see it more clearly. This one is also colliding with this one and colliding with these 2 that are grown together. So I have 3 cultures that I can see growing. So is what I did for my third transfer is I took from one culture, opposite ends of both sides, I transferred it to grow those together to make sure that they weren't just a culture that was the same on this side. So if I took a transfer
Hey,
from this side and this side and grew them together, that ensures that the entire thing was sharing the same genetics. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I took a piece from one side of one of the cultures. This one that was smaller and growing slower, I didn't transfer. But then on the second culture that we could see that was colliding with the first, I took a transfer from each side. Now here we are on T3. So culture number 1, I took from each side, grew it together. You can see it's not fighting itself. The one that was fighting the first culture on the second transfer, I did the same thing. I took a piece from say 12 o'clock and a piece from 6 o'clock, grew them together, confirms that that's one culture. They're not fighting. But as you see in the middle, it's still colliding.
Yeah.
So I have two dikaryotic cultures, two monocultures. That means there's one set of genetics in each of these cultures. So I could technically grow this out and expect the same results. I could grow this out and expect different results from this one. But they're going to be consistent. And it's much better than if I was to have transferred the first transfer from this, or just the multispore, right? Because in the
Right.
multispore, you've got all those genetics that are racing, and only one can survive. And by the time that one survives, it only occupies so much of the tub. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Okay. Oh, sorry.
and taking it a step further to get even better genetics, once I get a pin, once you clone actual tissue, the DNA has changed, and it's no longer sharing the same genetic sequence as the culture that it grew from.
Okay.
So what I'm looking for is these cultures pulling those nutrients together, changing its DNA so that it can fruit and produce spores. I'm going to take a piece of that fruit that has stronger genetics already, that already knows how to fruit, especially in this high CO2 environment that's a plate. And I'm going to grow that out and put it into an environment that has a lot more oxygen and a lot more good nutrients. Then it's going to pack the bag or the tub.
Right.
If that makes sense. And then you
Yes.
can grow those out, and eventually you'll see mutations happen. And as you see mutations or traits that you like that are popping up independently from that original culture, right? Because every time it fruits, it's a little bit different. It's changing its DNA a little bit, which has always been super interesting to me. It's a new dikaryon. It hasn't reproduced yet as far as actually reproducing sexually, where it goes back to spore, and then two of those spores mate, and now they share the same DNA in both of the spores, right? This is vegetative reproduction, producing fruit bodies and cloning it, which means it's just going to repeat itself through mitosis. It's going to split, but once you take from a fruit body and that mitosis splits, the sequence is now a little bit different. And I could take the mycelium from that fruit body and grow it out next to the original culture that it was cloned from, and it's not going to mesh. It's going to collide.
Okay.
And I've always found that interesting, how it changes like that. But there's always slight mutations or epigenetic changes each time it fruits. Does that make sense, guys, or am I rambling?
No, it makes.
That's a good explanation.
You
Makes
sure?
sense.
Because like I hear myself, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And then I go back and listen to it on YouTube or whatever, and I'm like, hey man, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right, you know. But as long as everybody understood, please ask me questions if you don't understand. But
That was the
tonight I'm going to draw some
clearest
stuff
explanation
out.
you've given so far.
What's that?
That was the clearest explanation you've given of that process so far.
Yeah, and it's like it's hard to stay on track because I can go in so many directions, but at the same time, it's like we got to have a full understanding. You know what I mean? So try to
Can I
keep
Yeah,
it.
no, that's good.
Yeah.
so that you can so maybe I can get a better understanding then from what I'm actually looking at.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so here's one of them. And now let me remind you, I haven't done a third transfer yet because I've been waiting to make sure I did it right. So here's the first plate.
Yep.
And I did
It's still
3.
growing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 3 transfers, but they're kind of growing into each other, but at the same time, you can tell that they have their own identity.
Yeah, I'd need to see it in the light better.
Is that any
they're
better?
colliding. It looks like so it looks like on the bottom right from me. So you're right.
Okay.
At the bottom, they're colliding, but then some of the dicaryons throughout it are clamping, and some of them are colliding, which is typical of a multispore, right?
Right.
Does that make sense? You're going to get some that clamp and then some that don't. So it's going to just look like sectored and patchy like that through the middle versus
Yeah.
something like this that's just, you know, meshed together.
Right.
Um,
So
yeah,
the
so
other
that's
one, as you can tell,
what's that?
the other one, the other plate that I have is the exact same.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, I can see sectoring and I can see clamping going on. So there's you got genetics that are sharing the same DNA all through it, and genetics that are colliding all through it. So another transfer from the outer edge of each of those, little tiny transfer. Like you take the little tiny bit of rhizomorphic rope, a grain of rice size, right?
Right.
Transfer that, grow that out, and then take it, say a piece from the other side that you transferred it from, grow that out next to it, see what happens.
Okay.
Eventually, they're just going to collide and mesh. You know,
Right.
as long as you're grabbing those sectors early enough, then it then it won't compete with itself.
Right.
What's up? Who's raising his hand? Both of you, Moldavite and Robert.
Moldavite's first.
We'll get back to you one sec, Liz.
Oh,
Okay.
So my question is, will it overgrow on top of the other dikaryon monoculture? That's so like it'll literally be. It won't even for sure. It won't even.
Yeah, especially from a swab. You've got it. Once it grows out and it hits that wall and it slows down, and that's when you see it like bubble up, right, with all that different stuff, is they're all just swimming over each other. That's why it's good to grow it out. I'd say about an inch on a plate so that you can start to see it split. And then those ones that are faster, you can definitely see are faster, and then grabbing them, right? So letting it grow out too long, you weren't fast enough. You take it too soon, you never gave it a chance to race.
I think I have a plate that outlines that exactly. Hold on.
Yeah.
Check this. I don't know how. Can y'all see it?
Yeah, kind of.
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out how I flip the camera on this app.
Up at the top, there's a spot up top right. You should be able to flip it if you have an
The top
iPhone.
right, there's a little circle with the arrows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it.
There you go.
Oh man, what's that? What is that?
He's got sectors going. So I would take from 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, any of those sectors, that little piece that's growing out just a little bit faster than the others.
Yeah.
You're going to do great on any of those. Just a little tiny pinch though. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can use tweezers if you're really isolating, trying to get down and get a monoculture as fast as you possibly can. You don't have to use a scalpel or, a punch or anything. You can, whatever helps you grab the smallest possible piece.
Yeah.
Is going to get you there the fastest. But yeah, you've got some genetics fighting in there, but you don't have a lot of them.
Yeah.
You can see a lot of structure growing from different sectors, then you can see a little bit of chaos going on in between, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But should I let it grow a little bit longer before I decide to do that? Like,
with that right there, you could, or you could I would grab them. If it was me, I wouldn't necessarily. It would depend on how much energy I had. If I was pumped, then yeah, I'd go ahead and grab them. You can see where there's not a lot of competition going on in there. You can clearly see what's performing better than the rest, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Got another one that's doing some weirdness right here. This guy is growing out little legs. So rides more growth and then
It looks like it might have a little bit of bacteria.
I think I might, but
Yeah, that one, I think you'll know by tomorrow for sure. If it's still
Trying.
growing like that, trying to, eat that bacteria and grow at the same time.
yeah. So I got a few more, but I don't have any. I don't have any pins yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised I don't. I have some forming.
Yeah, I got a ton of little. I got a ton of plates that have hyphal knotting, but
Yeah.
pins yet.
Yeah, they'll turn into pins in no time. By next week, everybody should have a pin. I'd be super surprised. So I think that next week will be a little bit over a month. So this is our 4th week. This is our 4th class. So
Hey, got a question. Hey, I need to do this transfer here. So you take from the outer edge, right?
let's see. And
And then,
I'm making you
right,
big.
so this is this is I missed the 2 classes. So I'm gonna take from the outer edge, right? And then I'm gonna transfer one. All right, take from the outer edge of this one. I'm gonna transfer it to 3 different ones, right? 3 different cuts.
Yeah, you could do 3 or 4. I mean, I like the clockwork method. When you do go around the clock, that ensures that you're getting the most diverse amount of genetics to choose from, right?
All right. So go around the clock, and then you guys are talking about them colliding and things like. So that's. I'm not there yet. So how does that go all about?
Okay, so you're going to take from 3 o'clock on that plate that you have. You're going to take that outer edge somewhere around 3 o'clock, and then somewhere around 8, 9 o'clock, you're going to take the best looking piece. Opposite sides. If they grow together, then you either got a monoculture right there, or you're close.
All right, so I'll put them on. I'll take them off there and put them on the same spots on the new plate.
Yep. So I would put 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, right there and there, and then I'd go 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, right there and there. So they grow together, and that test. These two are on opposite sides, are testing each other, but then they're going to grow together and also test. So you're going to be able to see how everything's performing together.
Okay, cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna do like the clock: 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
Fucking yeah.
All right.
Fuck yeah. Robert, motherfucker. Robert's my homie, man. We chat on the phone.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Back to Lissa though. Lissa. What's up?
Oh,
how to look.
Did you have more questions?
Is Robert done? Is Robert done?
Yeah, he's
I'm done.
We're talking. Me and Rob.
Okay.
I'll get to Robert later. Don't worry about him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll talk. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't interrupting.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you happen to see my post the other day?
Probably. I don't know if I remember though.
I got my first really huge mushrooms.
Oh, I think I did.
Okay, so I have that same tub, and I think that they're almost ready, but I want your opinion. These are the pumpkin monkey business from the fungus frequency.
I don't know. I don't fuck with hillbilly pumpkins.
Well, from my understanding, it's not hillbilly pumpkin.
Cool. I'm just giving you shit anyways.
But I don't know what they are 100%, but I know that they're not hillbilly pumpkins. I think they just called it pumpkin because the color. But anyway, I'm going to let you look at them and see what you think. If I should continue to let them go or if I should go ahead and pull them. Because I already had to pull 2 of the fruits because they outgrew my tub. But the rest of them, they were smaller. So anyway, I'm going to flip the camera.
Let's see them bitches.
Okay.
Hoorah!
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Fuck yeah.
Damn.
Do you guys believe this? Lissa just kills it, dude. She murders it every time.
No, they are monsters.
This
I am
is
trying.
every morning for Melissa.
That's
Go ahead and
This
breakfast
is
kill them
every
and show how
right
morning
fun
for
they
there.
are.
Melissa.
Are they
Are they
hard as a
hard or are they getting soft? If they stop growing,
No, they're still growing.
fuck, let them push the lid off that son of a bitch. You
Okay,
know?
because like they're just barely curled, and there's still some small ones.
With these mutants like this, that like the mushrooms today, you rarely see, your classic cube being cultivated and, shared. At least, unless people are looking for a land race or they want, whatever for whatever reason. I don't know why you wouldn't want to just grow something like that. But you can let them keep going. You don't know when they're done until they literally stop growing. I let them go to full capacity. Once they start turning soft and eating themselves, right before that happens, grab them and, right before they start to oxidize and eat themselves. And honestly, that's when I see the best potency too. And that's contrary to the belief that the smaller fruits are better, right? I say bullshit. The bigger and fucking nastier they are, the better they are. It's like honestly, some of those side pins that'll, just turn blue that you didn't realize was there sometimes that sat there for how long, just digesting itself and digesting enzymes, and it's black when you pick it. Those things fucking smack.
Yeah, I've noticed
They
that.
stink like feet. Oh yeah.
I've noticed that with.
Yeah, like, seriously, I don't know where this, I understand that aborts are more potent, but that's kind of the same thing. They sit there and ferment or rot a little bit, It's
Right.
not because it's smaller necessarily, and not to say smaller shrooms or a younger mushroom that isn't potent either, but in my
I
experience,
think they're just more potent pound for pound.
yeah,
That's what it is.
Well,
yeah.
right on. I'm just gonna let them go then, because they're not
They're
really
not
super
fucking around.
soft or
That's a
anything.
nice grow.
Yeah.
It's
They
my
look,
first one that's been this big, so I was super excited.
hell
I
yeah.
love that.
Good for you.
That's your first time growing mushrooms?
No, it's my first time having some big dick gang quality.
BDG,
Oh,
guys.
okay.
That's
Congratulations.
awesome.
Thank
It
you.
never gets old for me. Like this, you know.
They say it's how you use it.
Uh,
Yeah.
well,
Big dick gang is
Mm.
big dick energy is the embodiment of character. It's not about the actual penis. It's about,
Yeah.
yeah.
Big dick soul.
It's like
What you
wealth.
say? Big dick.
Yes.
Big dick what? Big dick personality. Big dick soul. What was it?
It's
Big
it's an
dick
embodiment
energy.
of character.
Big dick energy. Yeah,
Big
that's
dick
right.
energy.
Big dick gang.
It's
What about the
universal currency,
balls?
man. You know, you can get anything you
Balls
want
don't
with
count
that shit.
anymore.
That's hilarious.
Man, it's
You're gonna
getting out
start.
of control. I'm seeing BDG all over. I got accounts faking me, and it's like they have BDG in their bio. I'm like, I don't even have BDG in my bio. Like, these motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's gonna start. It's gonna start being on Coinbase.
Yeah.
Watch. Yep. Put
Who
money
signed
in.
up for the Discord?
I
Me.
did.
Yeah, I know that John
Oh, I
did,
did
Martina, everybody did. Yeah, hell yeah.
in there.
We're getting the tiers figured out, and there's gonna be so like you guys will be eligible for like all the unreleased shit. You guys will have access first, but then also as far as like the educational stuff, you guys get all of that content for free for life. So
So are you gonna do a tier to where it says like grow along or something
I
like
will do
that?
grow-alongs in the future. I'm gonna do different type of stuff. I'm thinking that the next one I do will probably be a grow along where we isolate our own monokaryons and then grow a new strain. I think that might be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that would be really cool. And it could be, I mean, honestly, maybe even have a really long one, because I love doing this. This is like, I don't even care about the money. I'm not gonna lie, I made really good money for this, but it's like I enjoy being here, but maybe grow out a culture and then get the spores from that culture all together. You know, it'd be like a 6-month process, probably 4 to 6 months, I'm guessing, and then grow out whatever you want to cross. You can go ahead and do that, but then you know, I'll be right there with everybody, isolating a new strain.
Right on.
Yeah.
So are you gonna? Sorry,
What's up?
Oh, just
I was gonna ask: are we allowed to? Since will we still be able to join future classes as
Yeah.
part
So
of
you guys
this?
will have
Or
all the educational stuff that's posted. So like, let's say I do another grow along that you guys weren't able to get everything to do. But I posted in the Mighty Networks like I do now. You guys will on Discord, people who weren't a part of the first grow along are gonna have to pay to have access to all of that. Right. But as far as live streams go, everybody will be able to join in, but to be able to go back and watch that live stream, my tech guy, I think it's like $6 a month or something, and that gives you access to all the new unreleased stuff, all the new information, all the new text. Because I mean, and honestly, who knows how I'm going to be doing things next year? How you guys are going to be doing things next year? This hobby evolves so fast all the time, and things are changing. You know, there's always a better way to do it that we're discovering, and you know, just try to stay on top of that, get that information out. Try to be as helpful as I can that way. Also, you know, you guys have anything that you want to share, there'll be the option for that. But then there will also be like monthly subscriptions for LC bundles. You know, there'll be like an LC bundle of the month or grow kits, you know, pre-inoculated grow kits. And it'll be like cheap, but you'll have a monthly subscription. So instead of paying, say, $100 on spore swaps for the 5-pound grow kit that's pre-inoculated, for $50 a month or something, you get like a 3-pound grow kit and a 5-pound grow kit and LC or something. You know what I mean? Like it'll be definitely the hookup, but it'll be a monthly reoccurring thing. And there'll be a bunch of different options.
right on.
Hey, got another question.
What's that?
What about putting the when you cut out the sample, putting it upside down? Do you put it?
Does not matter. If I'm in a hurry to get a culture out, like say you ordered a culture right now and I didn't have a fresh plate, I'm going to turn it upside down so that the mic's touching the plate. That way I know that within 2 days it's stuck and it's already growing, and it through the move, it's not going to get knocked off. That's the only, other than that, however it falls is how it falls.
But it can be done.
Yeah, like the
It doesn't make it
mycelium upside down,
it doesn't-
pancake sandwich. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your mycelium. So when you look at it, it looks like it's just growing on the top. It's actually eating through the whole thing. Like it's absorbing the entire piece of agar. It doesn't just float around the top.
It's like roots.
What's that?
It has roots.
Yeah, definitely. That's why after you see a culture grow out, that agar shrinks, you know?
Yeah. Well,
That's
yeah,
why
I
you
didn't
see
know.
why it goes clear in spots. That's because it's literally sucking the food coloring and the nutrients out of that plate. This was bright red.
So it'll eat all this. It'll eat this food coloring eventually.
Yeah, it eats it as it goes. You can watch it. Like,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at my T1. It's clear as hell. That was a green print. And it was
No. Oh no shit. Oh no shit. Oh wow.
Yeah, these things are bright. Before, you know.
Oh man, I got one that's totally clear. Yeah, that T1.
And then you look at a liquid culture. See how the liquid around it's clear now. That means this needs to get used. That's why I like food coloring, because the mic will turn the color of the food coloring and then it will turn back into water around it. And that tells me that there's no more nutrients left in there.
Liquid culture. Now, how do you get to doing that? How do you?
Well, we're gonna make one together here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, that's right. I was talking to you about it already, and it was I think that's a pretty that's something that just we'll have to learn.
Yeah, well, we're all gonna go.
Take
Once,
me. Will
once
take me a
everybody
time.
transfers a pin and it grows some mycelium in between the week that we transfer it, be ready to make some LC. We're gonna throw it to LC. I'm gonna show you guys a super easy way because learning how to make a liquid culture is difficult for a lot of people, even for me. Opening a jar lid, right, and putting a piece of agar, once you open that jar lid, it always leaves you so much room for error, even in front of a flow hood. And the way I'm going to show you guys is you never take the lid off, and you also don't have to stab anything through an injection port and inoculate, which, I mean, there's no such thing as a self-healing injection port. That's half the reason that these kids can't grow a bag of grain too. They're told, this is self-healing injection port. No, man, there's all sorts of microbes that could get through there from the time it's supposedly starts colonizing to finish, and I'll show you. That's why I sent super glue with you guys, because the bags that we inoculate, we're going to super glue that little hole shut. I always do that. Keep
That's a good
microbes
idea.
from entering.
I usually just tape it because I'm scared. I was always scared that it could get through there.
Yeah. And on the Shroomery and on like Reddit and stuff, people say put micropore tape on there. I've read that. I don't know how many times. I'm like, no. Why would you put micropore tape on something you don't want to breathe? So just stay the fuck out of Reddit. You guys will be better off.
The Red's got a lot of shit on it, man.
Reddit's fucking. It's all about growing trichoderma. It's like.
That's how I found you.
Yeah.
This guy had a picture of this fucking mushroom the size of a soda can. It fat as a soda can, and it was tied to you. Somehow, and that's how I found you. I was like, holy shit! I want to know how they got that. And
Well,
so,
here you
yeah,
go,
that's
bro.
Them steel mags will get that big.
Oh yeah, these will get
steel mags. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what we're growing.
The ones from the steel mags.
Yeah, these
and some heavy ones, like they weren't just no reason.
Yeah, hell yeah.
The last fruit I had was I just picked the albino gumbies. I'm about to post some pictures of them. And they were big, but they weren't anywhere near as heavy as smaller Louis Vuittons and similarly sized steel mags. They were just, the gumbies were just a lot softer.
That's the
lighter.
Dave Wombat culture stuff. He has really cool looking fruits. Not necessarily I don't like really growing wombat stuff. I love the way it looks, and I have a lot of it, but I don't grow it out. Like, I'm not like, hell yeah, this shit's in rotation. Chocolate Gumby brains. Hell yeah, there's a lot better stuff.
Yeah.
I
but they
wonder
do
what
look.
he does. Like, he's got to be like adding chemicals or something at some point to be causing these mutations. He's doing something.
He grows dirty.
Yeah.
He grows real dirty.
Yeah.
As far as I know and have seen, it seems like that's what happens. Like his environment, he gets a lot of airflow in there and a lot of trike and stuff. And when you grow like that, you get a lot more mutations and things.
Yeah, that's true.
And also he does, and I think Jick used to do a lot more like multi-spore grows. So there's a lot more competition in there as well.
Yeah, you always see the pictures of they're just pheno hunting. They're not even growing. They're not even packing tubs.
No.
You got to be a mushroom nerd to be able to like follow those guys and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But what's up, RC?
With the bags, we haven't done the bags yet, right?
No, not even close.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
yeah, because
the pre-inoculated bags. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, we haven't. How's your grain looking?
White.
It's good?
Yeah.
I already did mine.
How's everybody's pre-inoculated stuff going?
I put it on substrate already.
Yeah, John. What one did you get, John?
Iceberg.
Oh, hell yeah. Those are big.
So we can do that? We
Yeah.
can send it.
You can send
Okay.
it when it's
I
ready.
didn't
Yeah.
know if we're doing
Yeah, I
that with the
got mine.
class or
Yeah,
what.
I
I
made a
got Mad
video. So you
Hatter.
might go and watch my video if you want.
Oh, I could do it. I just didn't know if we were supposed to send it or not.
Yeah, go ahead and
You
send
see,
that someday.
yo,
I might
see
change it to
mine.
some grain to grain.
Mine looks like Molevites. Yeah,
What did you get,
mine
Moldavite?
looks
That's
like
Shakti
this.
Ghost, right? Ooh, that shit's mean.
I have some of your Shakti Ghost ready to send that I bought just the LC from you. So I'm sending it tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Good.
Robert, I want
The
you to be
O2
gentle
sent
with
me a
that
call.
goddamn bag.
Yeah.
I want
Real
you to
nice.
pick it
Real
up
nice.
like a
Real nice.
baby.
Real nice.
Okay, I don't want you to swing it around by its hair like that. You know what that's
I
gonna
can't
do
even touch
is it's gonna
those.
cause all sorts of side and bottom pins. It's gonna fuck up that whole fucking pin set that you want. So just be soft, be careful,
All right.
tell it you
All right.
love
I
it.
wouldn't even
Sorry.
touch it.
Yeah,
Sorry. I was just proud. That's all.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go back.
You're like, look at my fucking baby.
Look at mine. Yeah, it's all right. I'm not gonna touch it. Leave it alone.
Slow
If
You
down.
know,
anybody
man.
ever gets inoculated grain and you're worried about like fucking it up, putting it all to substrate and losing it, you could always just take the grain and put it on agar. And so you save the culture. So you have a backup.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's
easy.
So just take
how do you
one
do that,
out
John?
and put it in the agar.
Yeah, you just take your bag either before or after you put it to substrate, leave a little bit in the bag, and then just take some tweezers, clean them off like Tone did, and then just grab one or two, put them on a couple of cups or plates, and you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You could
They'll
even
have
throw
I
like
them
didn't
in
even
the
super
think
fucking
about
bag.
that
bacteria.
before.
Huh?
Oh, you could store them, yeah, on agar. You could throw them in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah,
Now,
you can put them
anything
in
that's
your
sterile,
fridge.
yeah, throw them in the refrigerator, and there's genetics.
You could do them grain to grain.
Yep.
You could do that.
Yeah, I would definitely, if I was trying to save them before I went grain to grain, I would also have a backup because grain to grain can fuck it up, and then you're like, oh shit, those genetics are gone.
Yeah, the Shakti.
So
It looks
did you,
fucking.
John? Did you say knock off? Did you say clean it off first before you
No,
put it in?
No,
Nah, just put it in
just
how it is.
just pick
Dirty.
up one, put it in.
yeah,
If you're worried, like maybe you think it has bacterial, or you put some in and you have some saved and you find like it has bacteria, you could go back and grab one out of the bag and spray it with peroxide and then put that on agar. And usually that cleans it up.
yep,
No
I
shit.
agree.
The
Right
same
on.
thing with swabs. If you're getting a lot of swabs that you get like trike at the end of them or anything, spray those with agar and put them spray them with peroxide, put them on agar, and usually it cleans it up.
Oh yeah,
Right on.
So
yeah.
if the peroxide touches it, it doesn't matter.
No, you want it drowned
That
in that
feels
shit.
weird, but
I
yeah, that
know. I
feels
know. I
weird. I
can't
haven't
believe
been
that.
able to do that.
Yeah,
Peroxide safe.
it can make it so. There's a difference between spraying the mycelium with peroxide that you're transferring to a new plate and spraying the plate that you're transferring it to with peroxide. Sometimes you've got to do that. When you do that, when you do the latter, where you spray the plate that you're transferring to, it'll kill those microbes almost 100% of the time, right? But you'll notice the mycelium kind of just bubbles out. It's like it doesn't want to grow on either that agar that had the hydrogen, whatever it is that causes it. So, but once you see that healthy growth again, you want to transfer that to a new plate. But like John said, so I'll spray the transfer that like the piece of grain with hydrogen peroxide, and then on the lid to my new plate, I'll just spray the lid and then put it over. And that's usually gonna kill anything that might have survived that initial spray without slowing down the growth. But yeah, John knows what's up, man. That's a trick that I'm surprised isn't mainstream as fuck. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
nobody will talk about it.
no, I've been doing it for years. I
Yeah.
literally,
We work very similarly
yeah,
and on things we never talked about,
yeah,
but nobody else really talks about.
yeah.
That saves me a whole lot of worry.
And there's also, so today, actually, I did this, guys. So I have a, let's see, I'll show you. If I can find it. I know I can find it. It's around here. Oh, yeah, yeah. So, anyways, I think it's over here in my culture that I transferred from. Maybe. It's around here somewhere, but there's a, here, I'll show you a plate that has it on it. So there's been some weird shit, and I don't know if this is everybody is experiencing this, but I've been experiencing this ever since this summer. So Mr. Mycelium, if you guys know who he is, he's really big vendor for a few years on Spore Swaps. Really good friend of mine. He sent me a culture that has some sort of a intelligent bacteria, right? That grows underneath. And then once your plate's fully colonized, it decides to kill the mic and then it sporulates trike. It turns into, yeah, it's an interesting thing. And I ended up cleaning up a culture, and it's not easy. It's like several hydrogen peroxide transfers, right? And I'm hoping that today I figured out how to do it faster because it was from a swab where I had isolated a monokaryon, but it had that virus, and it's been around. I don't know if you guys have seen it. So this is underneath the plate. It's like black. You saw that, John? Ever?
I haven't had that.
Yeah, it killed my Starry Night. This is my Starry Night.
Oh yeah, it looks weird on top.
Dude, and I've been sticking it in the full spectrum light to see if it will kill it, and it made it fucking like hissy fit like this. Fucking weird, right? Because you notice it likes to be under the mic. It doesn't like the light. But from a swab that I did, so it's obviously around, right? But you'll know if it's on a plate. Like it just totally, it's like your culture's just sick and you can see it. So guys, don't worry, I'm not sending it to you. I've seen it pop up a couple times though. And I'm able to get it taken care of quickly if I'm paying attention. And nobody saw this. I've been debating on whether or not to like ask other people if they've seen it lately, because before my friend Mr. Mycelium got it, someone had sent him a culture that had these crazy mites that would eat through the plastic. And he had to like radioactively clean his lab to get rid of the mites. But those mites were carrying this bacteria that carries mold.
Oh man.
It's weird, right? Fucking super weird. Anyways, so from this monokaryon, I took transfer, so I soaked it in hydrogen peroxide, guys. You could see it bubbling and killing it on the top. But I took just a sliver off the top, tried to not get a huge piece, right? And then the underside of it, I dipped that in the hydrogen peroxide, and I saw it just explode with bubbles. So I'm hoping that that's why it's been carrying, because it like really goes in deep in the agar, right? And when you see those bubbles, you know that hydrogen peroxide's killing something. That's the oxidation. If you just put hydrogen peroxide on regular sterile agar, it does nothing. The moment that you put it in your mouth or on a cut or something, you see it bubbling, that's because it's killing that bacteria. It's breaking down those membranes and oxidizing. So, yeah.
Could you not like get a tweezer and just get a piece of mic without the agar?
I've done that and it doesn't grow.
It's not enough.
I've wasted like 100 plates doing it that way, trying to.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's just not enough mycelial like mass
Yeah,
to
yeah,
come back to life. It seems like.
yeah. And that whatever it is, it's fucking weird, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if like people start seeing it like the same way. The more and more people who started growing weed, now there's mites everywhere, and you got to look at your bud, your cuts with a microscope. You know, it's just something that I think is new, and yeah, but I think it's easier to contain, obviously, than weed mites. So
That's weird shit.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm
Maybe,
like about ready to give up on my Starry Night. We'll see.
What is it? Starry Night Ape? What's it called?
Snake.
Snake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Starry Night.
Starry Night Ape. Oh, that's
Really, really popular culture. Really beautiful, beautiful little mushroom, but definitely better cultures in my opinion. But they look cool. They're potent.
I haven't got to work it yet. I still have the plate.
Did it come from me?
Yes.
I hope that it doesn't have that shit.
It doesn't look like it does.
Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, it's and what's crazy is that your liquid culture, it'll hide in your liquid culture and everything. Your mycelium grows just fine.
That's insane.
Yeah. They're intelligent little critters, man. Little microbes. It's like it knows that I'm fucking after it and it's getting fucking smarter, I feel like.
yeah. They
But
learn, you know.
they
These
do.
things learn.
Yeah.
They build up defenses, you know. And so,
All I
what is
know is
this
they
thing?
don't.
It's intelligent microbes or something.
Well, you know, your entire body's made of microbes that are
Yeah,
communicating
you're talking
together.
about this new thing that's going around. It's called, you called it intelligent something.
Huh. All I know is
It
that
had
it
a
hisses
name.
and screams when you fucking put it in light. It made it bubble out all weird like that. Fucking weird shit. It's demonic. That's how I
Hey, I
feel
got a
about it.
question.
What's up?
Um, okay, now that I'm growing cannabis, I've got a lot of people that are trying to tell me to use some type of mycorrhize when I start my soil grow. And
Talking
but at the
about
same
beneficial
time,
microbes in the soil.
yeah, but at the same time, I've been told by other people that I need to be careful because doing the mushrooms, that it could cause cross contamination of some sort or cause
You get
more.
into your mushrooms? Yeah, I'd be careful for sure.
Okay. So I didn't know if I should even mess with it. Like if I should, add that extra.
You want to make sure that everything's separate and really clean. You don't want weed in your grow room. You know, you can have mushrooms growing in your pot, but that's just fine. But as far as if you're doing soil or even hydro, there's so much shit, you know. Weeds is a dirty plant. It's got a lot of shit,
Right.
it attracts a lot of bugs. They have lots of different shit. And yeah, you can definitely put your spawn bags as they grow in with your weed because as they fill up and release that CO2, that's really good for your pot. But as far as
Oh, really?
growing them, yeah, that's what you can actually. There's mycelium blocks that are like that they sell for your weed that really blow up and release CO2.
That's interesting. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah. If you don't want to go the injection into the root system route, yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, that's something I need to research more then.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, cool. Thank you.
yeah, for sure.
but stay away from the mycorrhizal shit. It's not good. You don't really need it.
Yeah,
That's what I was trying to figure out. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Moldavite's the pothead. He's the one who grows
Yes,
the
I
weed.
know.
Yeah, growing weed is. I love growing weed. I just don't have fucking time anymore. If I have 5 plants, it consumes half my fucking day every day. You know.
Oh fuck, man! I didn't know this shit's gonna be like it is. It's like a full-time job.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, Robert fucked around and planted like 50 fucking seeds.
Yeah.
I got I got seven females, and I got a bunch of and I got shrooms too. I got a bunch of shit going, man. I did not know it was gonna be like this.
Yeah.
I
I
just
told
thought it
him to
was a
throw half them
hobby.
away. I'm like, where are you gonna put those, bro?
I don't know, man, but I spent too much time in like growing them. I can't. I gotta go the full route. I'm gonna go all the way with them. I gotta, and then so the ones in the basement, I just went down there and I had to tie them up, tie the branches up, and the ones upstairs, I don't know. I'm just gonna have to deal with it as they grow because they're growing, and I'm just you know, just changing things around to so I'm just gonna have to grow.
You'll be
I'm
all
gonna grow
right.
them all
Trial and
around.
error.
I'll figure it out.
You're gonna have a lot of mistakes, and you'll have some successes. What you'll learn as far as weed goes, though, the main thing is harvesting it at the right time and drying it to the right point before you cure it. That's it.
Yes, I learn something new every day. Today I learned that I'm using when I transfer them, into the bigger pots,
You
and I'm
use
using
real
way too
soil
much
this time,
soil.
right?
What's that?
You use real soil this time.
Yeah, I got good soil, but I use too much of it. I put them in too big of containers, like too much soil. Like I just overdid it. So
5-gallon buckets, bro. 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah,
Can't go
so
wrong with
5-gallon
those.
buckets. Yeah, but I use 5-gallon buckets, but I filled them all up totally to the top with the soil. I didn't need that much, man.
Especially with autoflowers.
Yeah, they're autoflowers.
And see, Moldavite,
So-
he's probably like, man, I grow in fucking 20-gallon fucking bags.
Yeah, what do you do? Yeah, how do you grow Bolivite? You grow
I
them?
grow in 30 gallons.
See?
Oh,
I knew
shit.
it.
30 gallons. They make
Yeah.
big tubs that big?
Yeah. I got a couple of
What do you, it's like a bathtub.
It's a fucking tree is what it is. It's a goddamn
It
fucking
is. It's gonna be a fucking tree. Yo, can you show us it?
Damn. I only got 3
So here's the
gallons.
first
Oh,
one.
yeah, there you go. Yo, can I see the tub?
Nice.
Let me see the tub. Your tubs.
You're running organic, right, Moldavite?
Yes, I am.
The only way to go, baby.
Yes, sir. I did
Okay,
hydro at first, but organic has honestly probably been the best experience ever.
Do
And,
you have what do you got, a tent? Oh, you got a couple. All right, there goes your babies. See, that's how
Yeah.
I did it too. I did it in the cups too.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Save space.
You know what, man? Transferring them was such a pain in the ass. Like I had to learn different ways to do it without trying to almost killing them.
So do you put them in the solo cups, Moldavite, when after they pop or after they start to emerge, like the first few leaves, or what?
As they drink. So if they drink fast, then they usually have a good root zone going. So I kind of if I water them in like the next couple of days, they're kind of dry. I say okay, they're pretty much full capacity inside that container, and just transplant them. That's a good rule of thumb for me.
Right on. Okay.
Because it's hard to judge if you don't have like I use like a clear cup sometimes to like see the root zone, but like other than that, if you're not really able to see, the best way to judge that is if they're drinking a lot more. Yeah.
What kind of soil do you use?
Mixture. I reuse soil, peat. I don't even know, peat moss, bunch of shit.
Composting your own shit.
So you got,
Yeah.
gotcha. You got to mix. You got to mix.
I
the
just
shit.
I put the my first steel magnolia cake inside the 30-gallon the other day. So yeah, it's just a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, lots of good gypsum in there. Lots of good calcium and all the good shit.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you use? You said you reuse the soil. Do you like cut the roots and you put dead roots in it too?
Yeah, I don't even cut the roots out. I just leave it all in there, stock and all, if I can.
You
And
leave
I
it
let
in the sun?
No. I just leave it in there. Let,
Okay.
let my worms, let the rove beetles, let all the
There you go.
you know
Yeah.
all the,
So you got the bugs.
let all the micro life and the macrobacteria and all the microbial activity kind of just eat at it. All the microbes. I mend it with like KNF lab. So I inoculate it with a bunch of stuff. It's not like IMO, and so I have like indigenous microorganisms working together to kind of help break everything down and just like
Mm-hmm.
build
Let me
health.
ask you,
How
have
do you
you
get
fucked with
these?
Build a Soil 2.0?
Yeah, I follow him, but I can't get his stuff over here, so I just kind of made my own little thing.
Okay, yeah, dude, that shit's fucking. Build a Soil
It's
is
fire.
bomb, bro. Like, it's so much like those guys put love into their shit. I did
Yeah,
one run. My last run, I just used Build a Soil. It was a little bit hot at first, which honestly I like, just on the edge, but really, really good soil, dude.
Who's
yeah,
it called?
Jason, that guy's really nice. He's really cool.
Yeah, I never
What's it
talked to
called?
him.
What's the name of it?
Build a
Build the
Soil
soil.
2.0.
He's got a new soil right now that's a little bit lighter.
Yeah, I like the 2.0 because a lot of times you have to finish it with a little bit of something or the other, anyways.
True.
I got a soil test kit today. I test my pH, and it was good. It was like 6.5.
That's really good for.
That's good.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, I like to ride a high alkaline soil because I find that like if it dips down really low with the organics, like it gets to like 5, 4 sometimes if I'm really heavily amending stuff. But like I really try to use a high alkaline pH with everything just so I can ensure that there's no like bad bacteria growing or stuff that could potentially like cause illness to the plants.
Right.
How do you raise your pH or lower it? You got a
I
way?
use RO. I that's the best way to raise it up pretty much. Or I don't really use pH anything to like raise it or correct my pH. I find that kind of messes with like the microlife microbial activity with the plant. Kind of just let the plant do itself, correct its pH levels itself. It's totally capable of doing it, and it knows what it needs, so
Yeah.
there's no point of trying to play God or play
That's the whole point of
know,
organic, right? And in nature, you're
What
going to
about
get more alkali water anyways.
yeah, that's true.
Um,
Like rainwater is pretty high alkaline.
yeah. And just, water in the dirt is alkaline too.
Did you just steal something from me, you little shit?
uh,
Not.
But hell yeah,
what
you guys
about?
have any more questions?
I got a question on weed air circulation. What do you do about
You want
that?
a motherfucking fan running the whole time. You
Yeah,
want to
that's what I
barely
got.
see the leaves moving, barely fluttering. You don't even want to feel the fan, right? At least but you want to see your leaves fluttering all around. You want to
You
make
don't really
sure
need a fan.
you clean up all inside, get those big fan leaves that are blocking the fucking light, blocking your buds from getting there. Leave the outer ones to absorb that light and fucking make sure that air's getting in through the plants. That's why I told you, bro, you gotta throw like 90% of those fucking plants away.
So I
Oh,
did. I got rid of 5 of them.
you gotta get rid of. Yeah,
I got rid of
you
5
can
of
keep
them.
4. Just kidding.
Yeah, I got a 7 girls. I got
There
rid
you
of
go. That's
5
a big run.
plants.
That's a
I got
big
rid of
run.
5 other ones. So I got 4 ups. I got 5 upstairs. Wait, 4 upstairs and 3 downstairs. So
Yeah, hell yeah. Make sure they're all girls.
they are. They're all girls, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Them's all ladies.
Cool.
I've been seeing a lot of people posting their Hermes this last week.
Oh, that sucks.
Lovely.
It just seems like everybody's been hit with them here lately. It's almost like every post I see is like, "Oh, we got a Hermes."
Yeah, how you gonna know if I ever heard if it has seed pollen sacs too?
I think that's it. Those little,
Yeah, they're intersex.
yeah.
Yeah, you've been seeing it a lot more lately. I wonder what's causing that.
Bad breeding.
I think that this whole autoflower reintroducing ruderolus into the whole mix
No,
probably has
not
something to do with
particularly.
it.
It's just bad breeding. A lot of people just like to breed with stuff that trigger easily, that stress, that have poly uh, properties to them, so they can kind of go either way. They're not really stable, like they're just polyhybrids. They haven't been like inbred to be stabilized. So I think that's the problem. I think a lot of people are just
They're just
not
running
really
whatever
thinking.
with whatever, calling for
Yeah,
whatever, slapping a sticker on it.
yep.
That's what they're trying to do with mushrooms now.
And then Fems too,
Basically.
right? When you reverse a fem, you're pretty much like you're fucking with its genetic code and you're stressing that out too. So now you're getting, let's say you want to get a feminized pollen, you're reversing a female to put male pollen sacs, and then that's another hermaphrodite trait that carries on through the breeding process.
So it's basically a lot of stress is
Yeah.
what introduces it.
Well, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be stress. It could just be literally. It just wants to be
It
what it
wants to
is.
reproduce.
Yeah.
Got you.
Wants to survive. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not messing with regulars, man. I'm just gonna stick to the fems and hopefully I keep it right.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, fems tempt to herm, but yeah, regs are the way to go. Really, I'll be real with you.
But
Yeah.
you have to pollinate them, right?
What ten?
Well, with regs, you're gonna get. I always get one female to every 2 males. It's like clockwork. So
Yeah.
you plant if you plant 2 seeds though, you're gonna get a female and you're gonna get a male. It's just how it fucking goes. Just pay attention.
What did you say?
What's that?
What regs? Regs?
Yeah, so it hasn't been feminized,
Regs.
so you don't know if the seed's a male or a female.
All right, so you just have somebody. You just get a seed. You know, right? Yeah.
Just a regular seed.
You grow weed, John? It's a whole other fucking
Nah.
world, dude.
Yeah.
I'll be real with
Never
you. I might
have.
want to quit the pot.
You want to quit growing pot?
Yeah, it's kind of lame, man.
It sucks.
It
It's the
does.
easiest thing in the world. That's what I tell people, it's the easiest thing with a lot of fucking work.
Yup.
Yeah, so much work.
When people act like it's like,
It
like
is.
super complicated, there are intricacies to growing pot for sure, but ultimately I could throw a fucking seed in my front yard in the springtime, and as long as it's getting good sun and water, that shit's gonna be fire. You know what I mean?
All you need to do is use water.
Yeah. If mushrooms were that easy, goddamn.
Yeah.
But then once
Me,
you figure
mushrooms
out
are
how to
easier.
do mushrooms, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, boom. 3 weeks later, there's payday.
To me,
So,
mushrooms are way easier.
I tried to use multi-spore to grain right away, and that's where I feel like that's where most people fail. So if I just went straight to
who
agar like I
tells
wanted
people this
to, I
shit?
would have had way more success. But multi-spore to grain, like what the hell?
That's the worst thing you could fucking do. That's your first mistake.
Yeah, exactly,
First thing you
right?
do is your first mistake. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I'm
that's like
such a
companies, these bigger companies that are selling spores with the grow kits.
That's not a grow
That's how,
kit.
They don't want you
It's
to
a plant
figure it
kit.
out, dude.
that's how I started. Yep, that's how I started. So that way I bought it offline. I was like, oh yeah, okay. Just inject it in there. Make sure it's clean. Inject it in
Yeah,
there. I'm
no,
good.
those guys have to
Nah,
block comments on Instagram. They
it
won't even
didn't
let.
work like that.
I can't even jump on there and talk shit. They will.
It's sad. They literally it was $200 worth of nothing.
Oh,
Yeah,
Just think about that.
same shit. Yep. I
you
did
know how
the
many
same
pounds you
thing.
could grow if you gave me $200? Hey,
I know. That's what I know. That's I was like, fuck.
I don't even want to tell you how much money I wasted. Oh God, it's just
did you get your
at
new bag?
least.
Your
What's
new
that?
kits? Did we send those out to you yet?
So
Robert,
then I got three. The three. Yeah, I got them.
you got them?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, that's the pictures that I showed you today.
Okay. Yeah, they're already colonized then.
Oh yeah, they're about done. They're about ready to go. So you can send three. The two are all like ready to go, but the one I did another break and shake with it because it was like colonizing on just like one area, and it seemed like just separate. So I figured I'm just gonna remix them up.
Yeah. A lot of times,
Yeah.
if you break it and shake it after like 75% colonization, it just ends up slowing it down. So be careful with that. As
Well,
it grows,
yeah, it was.
as it grows,
It
it gets
wasn't
faster
70.
and faster and faster. Your
Yeah, it wasn't
mycelium.
75%. It was like 40%, but it looked like it was just like in a total different section. It looked like that it had separated. So I wanted to inclusion again. So we'll see what happens. You know, the two
Sometimes
were
I was gonna say
good.
sometimes when you have sections like that are like clearly separated, I'll just kind of break up the mycelium right at the edge of that section a little bit.
Yeah.
And there too, it's already got it.
Yeah. Versus making the whole thing recover again and possibly stressing it out. And then it just like the culture just doesn't act the same after that.
Yeah, I guess I could have done that. I could have just rubbed it in a little bit.
Well, if it was
rubbed
at 40%, you're good.
Yeah, it was.
And I mean,
it was
that
like
only happens
40%.
sometimes where sometimes you'll break something up and there's not even bacteria in it and it just won't grow back. That happens like 1 in 100 bags for me. Sometimes it just doesn't fucking grow back. It's a weird thing.
I got a bag like that right now that's stalled.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's no problem. Looks fine. It's just not
No
grown.
smell, no slime, nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got one of those too from somebody from it's a bag, it's millet, and I got it probably 2 months ago, and it's just like it's just stuck.
I've never had luck with millet.
If the grain is too dry, that shit happens a lot.
Really? So you did put it in?
Yeah,
What I did
mean,
was
it just runs out of water to drink, I think, and it's just
And it just is like, I'm going sterile.
Dries
I'm
out.
going,
it's like I
it's
can't
still
do no
alive
more.
though. So
That-
there's ways to dehydrate mycelium, right? And keep it alive. That I was reading about a patent because if you saw those European grow kits where you pour the water in them and you put them in the bag, you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
They've been popular in Europe for quite a few years, and I've always
You just
been.
rehydrate
You
it.
can do it with pancyans. You can do it with anything, and I've been trying to research. I'm trying to get something going like that. I think that'd be really cool. But there's a patent, and there's a machine that people are using, and then there's also lids that people are using to dry out grain. I know that's fully colonized, so that you can store just dehydrated grain, and all you have to do is add water to it. So I'm wondering if, like, I don't know. Really hard to get information on it.
Well, I'll just add water to this bag and let y'all know what comes of it then.
Yeah.
So what I did, I just got these millet that were not colonizing. I just separated them, and so I'm just going to send this one. I'm just going to cut it and send that air like that.
Yeah, just cut her right at the ass.
See what
Nip her at the
happens.
butt. There you go.
See what happens.
I've done that myself to where I've had part of a bag that wouldn't completely 100% recolonize. And then I just separated that grain that didn't colonize and threw
bacteria
the other
on it or something. Yeah.
No, it just didn't. It just didn't. Anyway, I have 2 tubs right here that I just sent that same way, and they are about ready to fruit.
Cool. Yeah, I'll always remove any grain that's floating around for sure. And sometimes, you got a bag that's perfect, and that last bit of grain there at the bottom has bacteria on it, That little piece of grain will fuck your whole grow up. Just cut that fucker out and then do the rest.
I mean, I hope that's not what it was, but I still took that grain out that wasn't colonized.
For
And
sure.
Okay. So far, so good.
I'm going to drop. I got to go.
Right on, Rusty. We'll talk to you, man. Send me your questions, bro.
All right, I will.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to get 2 guys unless there's anything else.
Yep.
Next week, we're going to have pins to transfer. This has been just chilling these last 2 weeks, but once we transfer the pins, then we're going to be rolling. So I've got some eiffel knots forming next week for sure. I'm going to have a fruit to put to another plate.
Cool. Y'all have a good night.
Hell yeah.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Much
Thank
love,
you.
guys. You guys are the shit. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Later.
See,
All right, guys. See ya.